Now we're going to be talking about Gary's Indie Spotlight. Gary has a great one for us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. Gary, what is on tap for today? What are we talking about?
Today we have a doozy, and if you haven't heard about this, you're definitely living under a rock. It is Mina The Hollower, and it is by the creators of Shovel Knight. So that's Yacht Club Games has developed this, and they're publishing this. This is a game that was shown off about a month ago now. Yacht Club Games had a indie kind of spotlight video themselves where they delve deep into the projects that they're finishing and new projects, and they popped this up on Kickstarter. And I actually haven't checked Kickstarter in a few days. They raised, I believe they're probably still sitting at maybe somewhere around $700,000 or $800,000. They
Gary,
definitely want.
Gary, you're way off. Way off.
Are they way past that now? Like I said, it's been about a couple days a week.
Ooh.
Whoa. Wow. Damn. Almost $1 million raised. And initially, within the first 24 hours, they had hit their goal of, I believe it was what, 311,000 was what they were aiming for. So They have hit almost three times that amount. That's incredible. And this is why I brought this project up compared to the Amico. And I know that wasn't a fair comparison, but when people really want something, they will support it. They will throw their cash, throw their wallets at the window, throw it out the window. And Mina has definitely gotten love and support. This looks like a fantastic callback to Game Boy Color games. Let's roll the footage, and we'll talk a little bit more after we watch the footage.
Come on, train. Come on, train.
Carl's wishing for a train, but we're going to watch the trailer. Not the trailer in the picture here. We're actually going to watch the trailer full screen right now.
Damn.
Watch the Yacht Club logo right there. But that is Mina the Hollower. It looks really good. I haven't played Shovel Knight. I'm very ashamed to say that. But
Same.
It looks really good. Here's the description.
I haven't either.
Oh, you guys are missing out, man. Especially Tony being a Mega Man fan and not playing that is kind of that breaks my heart. That of all people on this panel that should have played it, Tony should have played Shovel Knight by now. Especially seeing that Shovel Knight is not just a one-off kind of game. They've worked on it for years, and there's basically the bosses within Shovel Knight. They ended up giving the King Knight or whatever he's called, his own, spinoff. They gave Plague Knight his own spinoff, and I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. But they made 3 other kind of like one-player campaigns. And so you basically, if you go and get the treasure trove these days, I believe all 4 come with that, and you get 4 kind of different experiences. They're similar, but there was a lot of love and care put into these games. So I can only imagine what they're going to do here with Mina going forward. And for anybody who's not aware, there's huge ties with Link's Awakening here, the Oracle games, definitely Castlevania feel here. It looks fantastic. Obviously, what they're doing is bringing back the Game Boy Color feel. They wanted it to feel as authentic as a Game Boy Color game as they could, bringing it kind of into the modern day, doing things that you just couldn't do back on the hardware. But this looks fantastic. I mean, there's a reason why they've almost hit $1 million, and they were only asking for $311,000. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, it does. This looks up my alley. I prefer 2D Zelda, so looks great.
And I definitely I reached out to the guys on Twitter, and because during this Kickstarter they had tiers like every Kickstarter does, and one of the tiers was like $100, and you would get a physical copy with the digital copy and a few other goodies. And I reached out to them to ask them, because usually I don't I'd love to support projects on Kickstarter, although being the penny pincher that I am, I'd much rather pay because this could definitely be a $35 game at launch, maybe a $40 game at launch physically. So I reached out to them and asked them, hey, would there be a physical release if I don't go and donate the 100 on Kickstarter? And they confirmed that this will be coming to a physical edition for the Switch later down the road, so you don't have to depend on buying that digital version if you're a physical collector like myself. So that's good news to hear. Tony, really quick, can you
guys can hear me?
Yes.
Can you really quick? Can you go down to their goals? Because the last goal that I seen was like Linux and Mac support. I wonder if they've hit another tier after that.
All right now, dude.
Okay.
Real quick though, we're gonna talk about the story. It says Mina The Hollower is a bone-chilling action adventure featuring classic gameplay and an 8-bit aesthetic in the style of Game Boy Color. Refined modern era, smooth 60 frames per second action combat. A world full of mystery and horror and top-down adventuring, combined in a mix that may remind you of classic titles like Castlevania, Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, or even Bloodborne. Whip foes, burrow through the ground, and explore a pixel-perfect world in Mina The Hollower, a brand new game from the developer who brought you up, not down, Gary. You'll see that the stretch goals were sound test, which is kind of weird for a goal, but okay. Cheat codes. They got New Game Plus. Made it in Mac and Linux port. If they get 1 million, they'll get 3 starter weapons. 1.2 million will get you a fishing minigame, and then 2 unknowns further down.
So, I definitely think they're going to hit the 1 million on that stretch goal. I believe they have 2 weeks, like a week and a half or 2 weeks. This is absolutely mind blowing that they've almost reached $1 million in about half their time. So yeah, 11 days to go. Yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing the amount of money that they raised, which we'll get into in a little bit of why I was kind of upset with them. I understand there's a gray area with this game and why they had to go with the Kickstarter route. I did have a couple scruples with them. On them actually kind of doing this, because Yacht Club really didn't need to put this on Kickstarter, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, they got 10,000 backers that are getting the digital game. They got 1,000 $500 for the $30 pledge. 750 backers at $50 pledge. 191 at the $75 pledge. We got 1,145 at the $100 physical game. 120. What do you got? The $125 tier is 232 backers. The $150 tier is 142 backers. I think they got more backers than the Amico pre-orders. 386 backers at $200. At 225, you got 168.
And they offered some cool, like, if you get down to those like $5,000 tiers and stuff, they offered some really cool stuff with this game.
Yeah, at the $250 level with the Mina plush, you have 880 backers. At the $500 game design document book, you got 169. All gone, $750 or more. NPC director for a day, 20 backers. I guess that's all they had. What was this? $1,000 or more. Assistant director for a day. 7 backers reward no longer available. $3,000
so awesome.
Director for a day. They had 3 backers on that, and that's it.
Yeah, $3,000 tier.
Looks like something I would play. I need to play Shovel Knight. I have so many games. I'm so backed up on my games.
Well, you need to play the games we want you to play first, and then you can play every other game. See how simple that is?
That. Yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely something I hope Gary gets his hands on so we can see him playing it. He can do a review on the channel. I am going to reach out to Yacht Club Games. Hopefully, we'll be able to get them on the channel for an interview. Hopefully, Gary will be prepared, ready to go. No guarantees, obviously, but we're going to try. Anything else to add to this, Gary, before we move on?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to finish and touch up on the, there was a lot of talk on, a lot of people kind of giving them shit for basically going the Kickstarter route because clearly, Yacht Club Games has been pretty much the charge for indies to kind of come back. Shovel Knight started that back when they released it for 3DS. I believe it was on Wii U, PlayStation, Xbox, all that good stuff. But a lot of people were giving them crap for doing this, and the main question was like, well, why did you go and start a Kickstarter? They even said themselves that they were just looking for a little bit of extra capital, but even if it didn't get funded, that they'd be able to do this themselves. They're not hurting. I believe were the words that they used. And it is kind of weird. I know, being that I've done a lot of research and followed their projects, especially with Cyber Shadow. That was they backed. I can't remember who developed that game, but they backed that, and then they made sure that got published. And then with all their other projects, I've been following them closely, and there are a few things that do kind of drive me nuts that politics wise that they kind of supported that I don't agree with. And I just hope that like the money is definitely going towards funding this and is being used solely on working on this project. Otherwise, I really don't have an issue with them kickstarting it. Obviously, this is the guys over there. I can put the politics aside. I always said that, like, when it comes down to it, I look at the the art, the medium that they're creating here, and I'm on board. I'm a huge Shovel Knight fan. I'm a huge I can't wait till Shovel Knight Dig comes out. I've definitely wanted to play Pocket Dungeon. I've loved seeing Shovel Knight kind of dip his toes in other games, and I got the amiibos, I got all that good stuff. So I definitely support these guys 100% when it comes to these projects and the games. I think they're wonderful developers. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It blows my mind that they're almost to $1 million. It just blows my mind. And then you compare that to something like the Amico, and it speaks volumes, right? I pointed this out, a couple weeks back, just because I know they're not the same thing, but when people will really tell you what they want, and I think the $930,000 that they've raised has absolutely shown that people are excited for this. I'm excited for this. It looks good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it does look good. I did hear about the controversy, and I kind of thought it was a little silly since they are independent. So, I mean, hey, if they can get more money to support projects and people want it, and they're giving them stuff for the amount that they've invested, then I don't have an issue with it, right? Unless they aren't delivering like a who. So.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue. As long as this money's going towards the project and not funding other things that they had specifically on their website that things were political and I don't support, I thought that was kind of a misstep for them. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the first thing I thought of when they started this Kickstarter was like, I just hope that this money is allocated towards maybe future projects, because $1 million is a lot for a game like this. And for what they look like they have done right now, $1 million is a lot, and is really all that million going to, finishing this game up and adding these modes. And I mean, obviously, this is with that $1 million, this is going to be a game that they support for a very long time, just like they did Shovel Knight. So as long as that money's allocated towards a game and not political stuff, I'm totally on board with Yacht Club Games, and I wish them the best. This is definitely a home run, right out the gate. Only 20 so odd days in, or 19 days in, whatever the full month they had, 30 days. But to get $1 million just blows my mind. It's incredible.
Yeah, from my understanding, I don't think that they can take this money and use it for anything else other than the game. I mean, obviously, they could reallocate money that they were going to put into the game previously and send
Right.
that other places. But I don't think that really matters. I don't think there's an issue, personally, for me, that they go on the Kickstarter. They're not a huge studio. Yeah, they probably could have funded it themselves, but if Kickstarter is there, if it's available, why not use it? I don't have a problem. Like you said, like Blinded said, as long as they're delivering what they promised. They said, hey, we're going to give you X, Y, and Z for your pledge. And as long as they give it out,
Right.
I don't think there's an issue there.
Right.
I mean,
I did want one. Oh, go ahead, Tony.
I was going to say, even if Sony or Nintendo or Microsoft went on Kickstarter, personally, I would have no issue with it as long as they delivered on the things that they were promising in the Kickstarter campaign. I think people have this weird idea of what e-begging is. Anybody who should put their own money and everyone should use their own money, and I don't think that's really always the case, right? Like if I have an idea, I might need support. I might need people to pitch in. And sure, I could throw all my money in at it, and then when it fails, I go poor and I'm living on the street. And I don't think that's an outcome anyone wants. So I think, if I could see if there's support out there and, get people to help me and also give back something for the help, I think that's, beneficial to everybody. Everybody gets what they want.
Right.
But maybe that's just
I agree with that. That's not the reason why it just comes down to a more political thing that I don't really want to mention on the stream. That I don't know if they still have running on their website, but that was my only kind of.
So I don't know what you're talking about, Gary.
I'll tell you later. I don't want to really point it out right now. They might have taken it. They might not be supporting this particular movement anymore. They were in the past. It was on their I can't remember what page it was on, but it was on there, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I really didn't like that they were kind of flaunting that. I understand what the cause, what their overall look at the cause was, but it was political and wasn't something that I supported. And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because usually we look at like games and we kind of try to separate, the two. We try not to get too political in this stuff, and and it kind of seems like a year ago that's kind of they were kind of flaunting that for a little bit. So like you said, I have no problem with it if they deliver everything that they promise. I'm totally okay with them going on Kickstarter. I think it's a it's definitely a bonus, right? We're going to get more stuff now because they hit their stretch goal, and they crushed it. So obviously Mina's going to be a lot better because of the million that they're most likely going to get here in the next 11 days. I think they're really going to cross that threshold. So, and the last thing I wanted to point out was that Jake Kaufman, amazing composer. He's been involved with all the Shantae games. I believe all the Shantae games. Shovel Knight, a lot of other games that you might played like Retro City Rampage. He's done a lot of work within the on the music side for games, for a lot of retro modernized games. So it's great having him back and hearing his tracks. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. Hopefully, I get my hands on it and I play it, and I will look into getting Shovel Knight and playing that.